Force Forward is a coaching programme for ex-forces personnel, for veterans, for people who have left maybe for years, for people who are maybe have left recently or who are about to transition. What it delivers is all of the aspects of coaching that the Forces doesn't give. So everything beyond resettlement. So there will be aspects of Force Forward that will concentrate on helping individual leavers find a job. But resettlement does that a little bit, so there's an overlap here. What Force Forward will concentrate on are some of the mindset challenges, perhaps, that veterans face when searching for a job, and understanding what their transferable skills are, how they map into civilian roles, and more importantly, not underselling their experience. So there's going to be a lot of work on mindset, on building or perhaps even rebuilding confidence, and being able to harness energy, to create new energy, and generally to level up their life in a way that they didn't believe possible when leaving the military. Simple, right? How am I going to do it? Well, we're going to work on mindset. So, but also, like I said, touch on the job side of things, because that will be important for things. But we're going to touch on the mindset, like I said, energy and confidence. And I'm just going to use one thing as an example on the confidence thing side of things here. So we're actually going to get people to, right from the off, swallow a very, to some bitter reality pill, which is you've left the military. Now, as obvious as that sounds, having been through the journey myself, I didn't actually realise, or it didn't, the sheer, I guess the sheer nature of leaving and what that meant didn't sink in for a while. And it's because it comes as a shock to the system, and sometimes we're in denial, right? With me, that was compounded by me wanting to break from everything that the military had put on me when I left, and by that I mean I wanted to break from the structure. So people that have asked me since I've left, well, why did you leave? It was about freedom for me, and some people like that. Some people like what the fact that the military gives them a structure which tells them when to go to work, it tells them where to go to work, it sometimes tells them when to eat, when to sleep, and it certainly tells you what to wear. Your life is governed by a set of rules, a hierarchy, and a set of processes and procedure that you become programmed into believing is the norm and is life. And let me tell you this, it is not. What will happen is, one of two things will happen. You will come out and you will want to continue to live the military life by applying these processes and procedures into a world that is very different. Okay, that's one thing that will do. And that will cause you problems, right? The other thing that you might do is you might, like me, want to break from it all by throwing the rule book out the window and saying fuck it to all procedure, to all process, to all rules. For me, that was about getting pissed a lot, and for me that was about turning to recreational drugs. What that did for me was that threw my life into a bit of confusion, and essentially what I was doing was I was sedating myself from the reality of having left the military. I did it for years. Now, luckily, the bit that I had on point was getting the job. I had retrained in IT before I left, and I found my way into a job. But that job, so my first job when I left the military was as an analyst for an IT support analyst for software company in Slough, where the Mars bar factory was. Big shout out to Tony Bambury. And I hated it. I liked a few of the people, but I didn't think I was good enough for it. But I was. But that was up here, and I kept telling myself that story. I moved to 3, the mobile phone company, and worked as a billing analyst there. And again, that was a good job for me. People were great, but all of the time, whilst my professional life was going swimmingly, I was sedating in the background, getting drunk a lot and smoking a lot of weed, and taking some more serious, harder drugs than that on the odd occasion. My life hadn't spiralled out of control, but I was in essence lost, and that continued for a number of years, to be honest, where I maintained a professional life. So I've been lucky, but I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this, because along the way, a number of my friends, my ex-forces colleagues, have not been so lucky. One in particular, very, very close. Just to give you an idea, who ended up similarly to me on the kind of personal side of things. Life kind of spiraled a bit, started drinking and stuff like that. For one of my friends, that got quite extreme, and he ended up losing his life. And in the 20 years now that I have been out of the military, I've lost a number of friends. And I mean, some of those unavoidable, some, heart-wrenching stories. So having been through the journey, having seen the pitfalls of life in general when leaving the forces, I've decided that I want to help others. I can't bear to see or think about another Ross. Anyway, how am I going to deliver this? Well, apart from the fact I have 20 years of experience of not being in the military after 11 years of being in the military, seems a bit of a balance there, right? I've been out now twice as long, almost, as I ever was in, but the fact that I have kept people close to me who are still in the forces, and those that have left, I have this squad, never lost touch, so kind of still know what's going on in the forces. I know it's a very different place than it was when I was there, but civilian life has changed as well. So I'm going to deliver this program in a number of ways. We're going to do some one-to-one coaching. We're going to do sessions where we talk about mindset. I'll have a specific number of challenges for people to undertake. Where I think people are quite frankly hiding from something, I'm going to have to be honest with them and tell them exactly where I think they are. If they're hiding behind stories that I've concocted in their own mind, I will tell them. I have done it myself. So one-to-one training is going to be big. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not just going to be all about me getting laid into people and saying, sort things out. Far from it. Through a series of questions, we will get to the bottom of where your biggest challenges lie. And that's not just in finding a job. Like I said, there's a much more to this whole leaving the forces malarkey. So it's going to be about where your key focus in life lies. Understanding where you add value. Understanding kind of whether you've probably not at this point, how you go about finding a real purpose. It's also going to concentrate on the key relationships in your life as well. So let's see how they're going, right? And whether you can always improve them, right? So you choose which areas you maybe need to improve, you want to do something. Also, we are going to talk about fitness. And the reason I smile when I say this is because what we're going to talk about is your overall physical well-being, state of things. So for me, a few of my light bulb moments have come when I've got to the point of going, okay, where do I need to be? What's in between? And I can have a lot of light bulb moments, I think, and ideas when I start to get fitter. So we are going to talk about your fitness, about what you're doing about that, about what you put into your body. Now, I'm not a fitness expert, but what I can do is coach you on what things maybe need addressed. And you'll know the best people to go to and get the expert information. But fitness is key here, because you sort the body out, it kind of gives you more energy, and more energy can help you to have better thoughts, and so we'll work on fitness as well. And do you know what we're going to work on as well? You love this one, X-Forces guys. We're going to work on having a good time, and making sure that you've got time in your life for the passions that you have, the things that you enjoy and the things that make you happy, because you come from a background that is the epitome of the phrase work hard, play hard, and we all know what that means. So we're going to be talking about booze as well, and that is enough for now. One of the first module that I will deliver, so I ask, in addition to the one-to-one sessions, the first module or training that I'm going to deliver, I'm going to build some content out for this, and we are going to start right in the heart of the matter, and this will probably annoy some people. Good. We're going to do a training module called How to Evaluate Your Relationship with Alcohol and Upgrade Your Life as a result. Interested? Hit me up. Speak soon. So, a lot of people are going to be asking, why has this not been done before? Well, here's what I think. I think perhaps from the military's perspective, there's aspects that are overlooked, but fair play to them, right? How much time, effort, money would have to be invested to actually have the real experience of having a 10-year, 11-year military career followed by 20 years experience in civilian life. How does the military invest in that? That's difficult, right? And it's quite obviously what I'm doing is to start. It's kind of quite niche here, right? Because I'm specifically targeting ex-forces for a reason. That I'm ex-forces. I think times have changed. I think that it would be very difficult in the past to provide to what is a very wide audience, really. It would be quite difficult to have delivered what I'm hoping to achieve here and in the means that I'm looking to do it. Times have changed. Technology is a big one that's changed, and it's going to help massively. So I think that, let's say, and there's probably loads of other reasons that it's not happened until now, but let's go.